All right, so it's being recorded. Again, a very warm welcome to this introductory session for BW for HANA online training. We'll try to answer all of your questions, clarifications, doubts, and you'll also see some BW for HANA FAQs. Okay, so my name is Devanshu Mukherjee, and I am primarily a BW for HANA, native HANA, SAC, BPC consultant. Those are my core skills. And this online training I'm conducting, this is a weekends only training, and this starts next week, which is 17th of October. So this is Saturday and Sunday only. So today we are going to cover these topics. So this is the agenda for today. So first I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Then we will look at the course structure. Actually, let me put this before the concepts and FAQs because people have a lot of questions regarding the course, regarding the details, regarding the recordings, so on and so forth. So let me, we'll quickly do that. And then we will go into the actual concepts of BW for HANA and the frequently asked questions about BW for HANA. So we'll quickly see that. And finally, I'll give you a small demo in the system to show that what is the modus operandi I follow, what kind of hands-on you will get, and we will look into the system as well. And then we'll also have a question and answer session where you can ask your further questions. So I'm hopeful that by the time we will reach to the question and answer, most of your questions will already be answered. So my humble request to just hold on to your questions till the end. I'm pretty sure most of them will be answered, but if we have any unanswered questions, definitely I'll try to answer them. All right, so let's get started. So first thing is my bio a little bit. So that's me. My name is Devanshu Mukherjee, and I have around 15 years of experience now, which spans across multiple areas of the life cycle, project life cycle, meaning I have support experience, implementation experience, and rollout experiences as well. So I've completed around 8 end-to-end implementations. Then in HANA, SAP native HANA, I have around 6+ years of experience where we completed, I'm doing my 5th implementation right now. Then I also got chance to work on BWIP and BPC. There I have around 4 to 5 years of experience. ABAP, of course, an integral part of any BW implementation. So I have experience in ABAP. And fortunately, recently, I also got a chance to work on SAC, which is SAP Analytics Cloud, primarily integrated with BW for HANA. That was the landscape. And I have completed 2 implementations there. So this is my overall, background, professional background. And these are the core skills which I have, which is primarily BW, but then also native HANA, BPC, ABAP, and SAC. You can connect me on LinkedIn if you want. I have a LinkedIn page. You can connect with me and stay updated. I keep on posting some initiatives which I have taken recently. For example, I'm taking the BPC certification, so I've created a group on LinkedIn where we are sharing the notes and we are collaborating for the certification. I also have a YouTube channel. This is an old screenshot. It's showing 348 subscribers, but right now it's more than 1,000 subscribers. So I have to paste a new screenshot here. But I have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to my channel because I keep publishing videos on BW for HANA. So I have a playlist called BW for HANA Tidbits. So there every other week or every week, sometimes I keep posting these small videos on different topics, which you will find useful. Guys, I'm hearing some feedback noise. Can I request you to please be on mute? I think some of them are not muted. I can still see some feedback noise. Santosh, Saurav, Harish, can I request you to please be on mute? Or you know what? Let me do that. And you will get a chance to unmute yourself and then ask questions. Thank you for that. So we have, I have a playlist, BW for HANA Tidbits, where you can see all the videos and you can subscribe. And every time I post a new video, you will get the notification. I have a specific playlist on YouTube, which is for the advanced DSOs, because advanced DSO is a vast topic. So I have divided those sessions into multiple parts, and you can look at them and get some details about advanced DSO. Now, this is a free channel I have on YouTube. Again, I also have a paid channel where I actually put my training videos, actual BW400 training recorded videos, which are private videos. So you will get access to them only when you have paid and you have enrolled in the training. But this is a free one where you can get some additional details. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's come back to the course structure. What you will get as part of this course, and how is this course structured, and will it help you in your certification or not? So all those questions we'll try to answer in the course structure. So first of all, who is this course for? This course is basically for primarily geared towards BW consultants who have some basic knowledge of BW, and of course seasoned BW consultants like me who have 15 years, 20 years of experience, and they are looking to upskill their BW skills to BW for HANA, because not all of us have got chance to work on BW for HANA. So people who are trying or who are looking to upskill themselves into BW for HANA, this course is definitely towards them, but also for BW consultants with basic knowledge or few years of experience. Then this will also benefit the front-end consultants, meaning people who have seen the reporting side of the equation, like your SAC users or BPC people who have worked on PPC, but they are not very comfortable in what's happening in the back end, which is the BW, or functional people who are interested to know more about BW for HANA, how things work. This course will definitely help them as well. And then finally, anyone who's interested to start their career in BW or know about BW to make a switch to the career, this course will also help them. Now, this course will also enable you to take your certification. There are two certifications for BW for HANA. The first certification is called the full certification, which is your C_BW for HANA_20. Okay, this is for those people who don't have BW on HANA certification. See, there's a difference between BW on HANA and BW for HANA. So BW on HANA is like 7.3 on HANA, 7.4 on HANA, 7.5 on HANA, right? So if you already have a certification on those technologies, on that version, then you don't need to take this particular certification. You can directly take the E_, which is the Delta certification, also called a specialist certification. C is for consultant. So consultant means who don't have prior certification. E is for experts. So basically, if you are already having a BW on HANA certification, you can take the E_BW for HANA 200. And this has a prerequisite. This particular certification, it doesn't have any prerequisite, but this definitely has a prerequisite, meaning you should be certified on either 7.3 on HANA or 7.4 or 7.5. Okay. The latest version up to which the BW on HANA goes is 7.5. Then there is no 7.6. Okay. 7.5 is where it starts, where it ends. And then it starts with BW for HANA, which has a separate versioning. It starts with BW for HANA 1.0, 2.0, so on and so forth. So these are the two certifications. You will be able to take both of them. People who don't have this, who can only take this, they will also be able to take it. And people who can take this one, they will also be able to take the certification after attending the course. What is the material shade? Another very frequently asked question about any training, online training. So what is the material shade as part of this particular training? So in addition to the videos, which I will share on the YouTube as a private video, I will also share some material. And just to give you a glimpse of the recent batch, the material which is currently ending, tomorrow the batch is ending. So here what I have shared is, there will be a folder, and this is all OneDrive folder. There will be a folder on OneDrive which will say all material. If you go inside that, you will have three types of material. First will be your session or class notes. So whatever we are discussing during the class, in session 1, what did we discuss? In session 2, what did we discuss? In session 3, what did we discuss? Whatever we are discussing within the class, those class notes will be shared with you. And what is the format? You have two formats. One is the OneNote, Microsoft OneNote format, and the second one is the PDF format. So many people, they say that, okay, PDF is better for me. That's what I usually use. Some people say, no, OneNote is good for me. So I have given the notes in both the formats, whatever is convenient for you. So this is the PDF format, just to give you an idea. So whatever we have discussed in the class, so we have discussed the question and answer session. We have discussed what is a virtual table, what is a logistic cockpit. We have discussed SQL script. So we have discussed the scenario where we use the virtual tables and how do we use SDA, Smart Data Access. Then we have discussed what is the calculation view, how it looks like. We have done the different types of CVs. So all that whatever we have discussed in the class, I will share that with you as a class note. That is the first type of material. The second type of material will be inside this particular folder called material. These are class notes. And then inside the material, you will get topic-wise material, meaning you will have a material for advanced DSO, dedicated for ADSO. In that, I have a PowerPoint presentation, and that PowerPoint presentation is a big 75 or 80 slides presentation, which will cover all aspects of advanced DSO. Okay, this is also something which I have used in my tidbits video, but I have not covered all the slides. So this is where we will go into detail of the advanced DSO, data mart DSO, standard ADSO, all types of ADSO, partitioning in ADSO, how it works, indexing, how it works, semantic groups, what are they, all types of DSOs, ADSOs are covered. So this will be a topics wise material. Then you have for LSA++, you will have the difference between BW on HANA and for HANA. You'll have the BI content. What is the new BI content in BW for HANA, which is the standard content. You'll have the ODP related details. You have CDS views related material. You have simplification list, DTO, composite provider. So all types of topics which we will be covering as part of this, you will have topic wise material as well. And then finally, you will have the certification practice questionnaire. Please note, this is not a dump. Please don't consider this as dump. These are questions which I have prepared out of the notes which I made when I took the certification. So when I took the certification, I prepared some notes, and out of those notes, I have created some questionnaire which will help you to gauge where you stand in terms of your knowledge. And once you practice these questions, you will be able to confidently take the certification. So this is a certification practice questionnaire. And then I also have something called customer scenario. So the way I teach is not concepts. I will not teach you just concept and then I will ask you to do hands-on. No, this is an end-to-end customer scenario driven training. And this is end-to-end hands-on training. Okay. So this is less theory, more hands-on. And for hands-on, we have a customer requirement. That's where we'll start from. So customer will require two reports. One is the sales order item details. One is the sales header details. And based on these two reports, we will start our journey. We will start with the data source. We'll enhance the data source using the new baddies. Okay, baddie method. Baddie is old, but the way has changed. No more CMOD code any longer. So we'll do the baddie. We'll write the baddie together. We'll see how the methods and classes work with baddie, and we'll enhance the data sources. Then we will also do native HANA modeling, where we'll create calculation views, dimension calculation views, cube calculation views. Okay. So just to give you an idea about the native HANA modeling, let me log into the HANA Studio. So this is the HANA database of the BW application. And there, just to show you what we did for the current batch. So we have batch 2 and we created all types of calculation views, right? We created calculation view for the dimension for material. We created table function based calculation views. So it's not just the graphical, you should also know how to code in SQL script. And then what is a table function, how a table function actually works, and how you can include the table function inside a calculation view. So we wrote the table function and we saw that how the table function works, right? So we'll see that. Then we'll also create flow graphs. There is something called flow graphs in SAP HANA. So you will know that what a flow graph looks like and how to write, not write, but how to design a flow graph and what is it used for. So this is the table function which I was talking about. So we'll write the code all together, right, with a customer scenario. And then we'll also have something called a flow graph. So you will see that, okay, what is the flow graph used for? In our scenario, we use it for slowly changing dimensions. So how it works in native HANA. So we created flow graphs, and this is based on SDA. We work with SDA Smart Data Access, where we'll create virtual tables and staging tables. So it's a completely hands-on training with an end-to-end customer scenario. And the final goal, okay, so let me continue here. So we did the native HANA modeling, we enhance the data source, then we will see the ODP, ODQ concept, because now it has changed. The default source system type from previous SAPI service API has changed to ODP and ODQ. So how subscription based Delta works, we will look at that for standard extractors. Also then CDS views, because the new way to do the BW extractors, RSO2, the generic extraction, is no longer recommended. We have CDS view based extraction. So we'll create CDS view. So there will be CDS view for item, and then for the header, we will use the standard extractor. So it's going to be a hybrid of both. Okay. So we'll write a CDS view together, how to from scratch write a CDS view, and then how to create a data source which will be based on that CDS view, and then we'll do the extraction. Once we have done the source part, once we have done the native HANA modeling part, then we will come to the advanced DSOs, we will come to the open ODS views, we will come to the composite providers, and we'll also do transformation, start routine, end routine, and field routine based on AMDP code. So now the transformation codes have all migrated or be recommended to be done in AMDP based class and methods. So we'll see how to write the start routine in AMDP, end routine in AMDP, and field routine in AMDP. So we'll look at that as well. So it is completely based on a customer scenario, end to end, and then we'll create the info sources, we'll create the advanced DSOs, we'll create the advanced DSOs for item and header, so on and so forth. And then we'll also see open ODS view. What is the customer requirement for open ODS view? Why do we go for open ODS view when we already have advanced DSOs? So we'll look into that customer requirement and create them afresh. Okay, so that is the second type of material where you will get end-to-end customer scenario. And then we also have something called practice questionnaire. I discussed, topic wise I discussed, customer scenario, and then I have some SAP Press book if you are interested for BW4 HANA, and then we have access job scheduling related material also. So these are the type of material you will get: class notes, certification practice questionnaire, your topic wise material, and your customer scenario, where we will use it as a base for our training. Okay, so coming back to the content. So this is the material which will be shared with you, and definitely I will keep adding these material as and when I have any updated material or PDF. I will definitely keep adding this. Then what are the tools used? Like what is the actual hands-on tools? So there are primarily 3 or 4 tools. First thing is definitely Eclipse. So everything and anything we will do in Eclipse. So this is the Eclipse. We have the Eclipse projects added. The project is for BW4 HANA. And if you want to see what version I'm using for BW4 HANA, then you can just click on this, go to properties. And in the properties, you will be able to see what is the version I'm using. And the version I'm using is 2.0 SP4 for HANA database. And for BW, it is DW for core 2.0 SP4. So if you want to check in your landscape, training landscape, what is the version, you can just go to the properties, click on the project and go to properties. You will be able to see 2 versions. One is the database version and one is the application server version. Okay. Database version is 2.0 SP4, revision 44. And the BW application version is DW for core. That is the component you should see. And that is 2.0 SP4. So that's the version we'll be using in my training. And you can use the same vendor which I am using, or you can choose a vendor of your choice where you will get the version. But please make sure that they give you a version 2.0 SP4 for BW, and HANA version should be minimum SP4 revision 44 onwards. Only then you will be able to do hands-on what we will do, what I will do on the system. Okay. So Eclipse will be used definitely, where we will create composite providers, we'll create advanced DSOs, everything we will do in Eclipse. Then we will also use Cockpit, BW4 HANA Cockpit, because now this is the new place for creating process chains. You will no longer create a process chain in RSPC. Of course, it is still there. If you want to do it, you can do it. But the best place and the recommended place has changed from RSPC to BW4 HANA Cockpit. And how you do that, how the process chain looks like in a BW4 HANA Cockpit, we'll all see that. So we created the process chain for my current batch. So I'll quickly give you a glimpse of how we did it. So these are the data flows. We have the different process chains. So we created process chain. We also created process chain for streaming. There is something called a streaming process chain. So we created that also. So let me give you a glimpse. Once you double click on the process chain in Eclipse, it will definitely jump to your Eclipse. And in your Eclipse, you can, once you log in the Eclipse, okay, let me give, I think this is the password. Yeah, so once you log in the Eclipse, you will be able to see that how a process chain will look like, and we'll create this from scratch. Okay, we'll know how to create a process chain in the Eclipse. So, sorry, in the BW4 HANA Cockpit. So while it comes back, okay, it takes a little bit of time because it's loading all the UI5 elements and the JavaScript and all those elements. So it takes a few seconds. So we'll come back to that. So that's what we'll do. So we'll use the BW4 HANA Cockpit. We will use the Eclipse. We will use the query, which is Eclipse based. Bex is gone. Bex is obsolete, no longer used. The query has been migrated to Eclipse itself. So you have to create a query within Eclipse. Like for example, I'll give you a glimpse of what we did. So in the composite provider, you can see we have different composite providers and we have a query which we created within Eclipse. So within Eclipse, we'll create a query where we will create the rows, columns, the free characteristics, the customer exit variables, HANA exit variables. Everything is now done in the Eclipse. So we'll do that as well. So that's what we will use. And finally, we will also use SAC integration to BW4 HANA, because the end goal of this training is that these two reports should be visible to the user in SAC, SAP Analytics Cloud. So we will have a live connection, which will be based on the BW4 HANA. And then based on that live connection, we'll create two models. One model is for the order details. One order is for the header, and one order is for the details. So two models we'll create, and then we will combine these two models in one single story. So that's the end result of this training. So that's what you will get to see. And again, this is all complete hands-on. Now, next question is vendors. What about servers? Do I provide server as part of this training? The answer is no. I do not provide the servers. I use a server from this team. It's called Get Trained, and they have the best server, one of the best servers I have tested. I have seen a lot of vendors from India, from Europe, from US. I have tested many vendors, and after testing all of them, they are the team who came up to be the best training server vendors. The reason are a couple of reasons. First is they will give you the latest and greatest. So they will have BW4 HANA 2.0 SP4. SP5 is the latest right now, so it's just below one level. Then they will give S4 HANA 1909, which is the latest. Again, this is on-premise. This is not cloud. This is on-prem systems. CDS view compatibility is there, so we can create all types of CDS views. ODP SAP is enabled. ODP CDS is enabled. SAC BW4 HANA integration is enabled. Okay, so you will be able to integrate your SAC trial version, right? The SAP's trial given version. You will be able to connect to their BW4 HANA server. Okay, so there is some configuration required. So they have already taken the pain to do that configuration, and now you can connect your trial version of SAC with this server. And this is the main reason I went with them. They have an excellent support. Okay, you have not seen, I have not seen any such support with the training vendors. If you have an issue with your system, something is not working, some error is coming, they will immediately respond, and if required, they will come on the call with them, a Zoom call, and they will do the troubleshooting with you. So they are amazing in terms of support. So this is the vendor I use. But if you already have a vendor whom you have dealt with, then you can use them. You are more than welcome to use them. But I use this vendor, so you are welcome to use this vendor. Now, what is the course covers? What will we cover as part of the course? I've already told you a little bit about it, but now let's go through the entire flow. So we'll start with the customer requirement. Okay, the customer has a requirement to show reports in SAC. That's the requirement. So we'll start with the blueprint of how we will create the report and how we will create the story. So we'll create the blueprint together. Then we will create the native HANA modeling using the HANA CVs, table functions, database procedures, and smart data access. We will use that. Then we will come to the BW side, and then we'll enhance the standard extractors. We'll create and enhance CDS view based BW extractors. So not just creation, but you should also know if you have to enhance an extractor which is based on CDS view, how we do that. So we'll do that. And here we'll use the baddie, guys. Okay, now no more CMOD code. We have to use the baddie to enhance the standard data extractors. So we'll use that. And for CDS views, we'll create a Z CDS view, which will be based on a standard CDS view. Then we will create custom CDS views, as I told you, Z CDS view. And then we will also extend them with extension CDS views. Then we will activate ODQ based delta. So operational data provisioning has something called operational delta queues. So RSA 7 is obsolete, gone. Now what is the T code? ODQ mon, and ODQ mon is the operational delta queue based delta, which is a subscription based concept. Okay, so you should know what is a subscription, how a subscription is created, how it is deleted, what is a daemon. There is a daemon in ODQ, what does it do, so on and so forth. So we'll look into that as well. Then once the source side is done, we will do the custom ADSOs. We'll create from scratch. DTPs we'll create from scratch. By the way, info packages are obsolete, it's gone. DTPs are now capable to connect directly to the source, which is the ODQs, and then get the data from the source. So DTPs we'll discuss. Transformations we will create, and we'll also create staging ADSOs, standard ADSOs, data mart ADSOs, and then we'll create routines in transformation, start routine, end routine, field routine in AMDP. Okay, so I'll show you how an AMDP class and method looks like, how to code that in a transformation. Then there will be a customer requirement which will also force us to use OpenODS views. OpenODS views has basically replaced the virtual providers of the past. Previously, we used to have virtual providers. They are no longer there. So now we have OpenODS views, and we'll see how they virtually access the data using smart data access as well, right? So we'll see that. Then we will go on to create composite providers based on ADSOs we created, OpenODS views we created, and HANA CV, which we created in native HANA part. All that we will combine using composite provider. And we will use all the latest features of composite providers, because in BW4HANA 2.0 SP4, composite providers got some additional features like aggregation node, projection node, SQL filter, so on and so forth. This was not there previously. So we will use all those latest features in composite providers and see how they work. We will also see that if a HANA CV has input parameters, how those input parameters are used in BW side. How do we map it with a BW variable? So we'll look into that as well. Then finally, once the composite provider is done, we will have BW query we will create in Eclipse, which will be based on the composite providers. And in that query, then we will create customer exit variables, baddie, again based on enhancement spot and baddie, and HANA exit variables, which are a new type of customer exit variables, again using the AMDP baddie and method. So we look into the new, again, no more CMOD code or SMOD code. Then using BW4HANA cockpit, we will create BW process chain, and we'll see how to monitor the process chain using BW4HANA cockpit. Also, we will activate streaming process chains. So this has replaced RDA, real-time data acquisition of the past is no longer there. It has been replaced by streaming process chains. So you should know how a streaming process chain is activated, how it works, and for ODP and for HANA data sources, how they work. So we'll see that. Then we will see PSA, how PSA has been replaced. PSA has been a very integral part of any BW system previous to BW4HANA. So in PSA, we used to manipulate the data. We can edit the data in PSA and push it forward. That functionality was there. How that functionality is now there in BW for HANA? Has that functionality gone? The answer is no. The functionality is still there. But where do we do that modification? That's what we will see in BW for HANA. Then we will finally, once this is done, we will configure SAC using CORS, Cross Origin Resource Sharing. This is a set of 6 to 7 steps you have to do before you can create a live connectivity. So what are those steps? Using the CORS, we will go through that in detail. And then finally, once the course is done, we will create a live connection to BW for HANA from SAC. And then the queries which we created, we will create a model on top of them. And finally, we will blend them together in a story, SAC story. Some advanced topics are there, like setting up of analysis authorizations on ADSO. I don't think I will be able to cover this. So I have, also given what's not covered. So first, let's go to advanced topics. Advanced topic means generation of CVs from ADSO's composite provider and BW queries. If time permits, I will show you this. Not sure if I'll be able to, if because in the current batch, the way it is going, I was not able to cover this. But if time permits, I'll definitely cover this. These are definitely covered. Okay, so I'm also moving this to if time permits advanced ones. What's not covered? Okay, by default it is not covered, but if time permits, I'll try to cover. But what is covered for sure in advanced topics is inventory data flow. This is a very important concept. How inventory has changed in BW for HANA. You should know how the record type concept has changed, how the marker update concept has changed in BW for HANA. We will go in detail hands-on in my training. Streaming process chain, I already told you, right? Activating streaming process chain. So that is also one of the advanced features. So we will go through that. Open hubs, how it works in BW for HANA. Migration scenarios and also BI statistics. So BI statistics is nothing but your 0 TCT star content previously, right? So how they have changed. They have gone through a sea change in BW for HANA. Now they are completely based on CDS views. CDS views in BW for HANA, not in S4, right? So we will go through that. We will try to also create a custom CDS view in BW for HANA, and we'll see how we can create our own queries for BI statistics. So inventory, streaming process chains, BI statistics, open hubs, and migration scenarios are all covered as part of advanced topic. What's not covered is analysis authorizations, generation of CVs from ADSO's composite provider and BW queries. But we will definitely use a HANA CV in a composite provider. That part we have covered. What's not covered is generation of the HANA CVs from these. Okay. Hierarchy and hierarchy handling, again an advanced topic not covered, and HANA analysis process, which was also called APD. So I will not be able to cover this. Why we are not covering? Because this will take additional time, and because of the core concepts which I am covering, which are most frequently used concepts, that is already taking the entire batch time. So that's why I didn't have time for these. And because these also are covered, so this plus this usually takes the entire 7 weeks, and this is a 7 weeks course. So that's why I'm not promising you that I will cover. But if time permits, I will definitely try to give you the details on this. Duration and timing. So what is the duration of the course? 7 weeks is the duration. This is a weekends only course. That means Saturday and Sunday only. And it starts from 17th of October, which is next week. And then it will go till 29th of November. So we have 7 weeks for this. What are the timings for this course? It starts at 8:30 a.m. and ends at 10:30 a.m. That means 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. And these times are Toronto, Canada time, EST, Eastern Standard Time. For India, it will be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. For UK, it will be 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then for Australia, it is 10:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. That means beyond midnight. So for Australia, this time might be non-viable. So in that case, you can take only recordings. I also have a package where you can just take the recordings. You don't need to attend the live session. And if you have any questions after going through the recordings, you can always send me an email and I'll try to answer your doubts. There is a deadline for registration, guys. 16th October, 11:59 p.m. EST is the deadline. Before that, if you don't register, then you'll have to wait for the next batch. So I would request you to please register before 16th October. What is the software used for this Zoom meeting? So you will have a link, a Zoom meeting link for every class, and using that link, you can join the class. Every class will be recorded. So my Saturday session and Sunday session both will be recorded, and those recordings will be available to you on YouTube as a playlist. So I already have a playlist for my batch 2, and same playlist you will get here. So if I just have to give you a glimpse, so let me go to the batch 2 playlist. So this is the BW4 HANA training batch 2 playlist. This is a private playlist where you will have all the sessions. You will have starting from your introductory session, session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4, so on and so forth. Now you must have observed there is additional sessions for every class. So for example, for session 2, we have pre-session Q&A, the main class, and the post-session Q&A. What does this mean? This means that in addition to the 2 hours of main class, I also log in half an hour early and I stay back after the class half an hour. What do I do in that? I answer all your questions. So I understand that when you go through a training, you will not understand all the concept in one shot. And when you do the hands-on, you will further get more questions in your mind. Now, I believe that no training is complete unless the participants are actually getting their answers and understanding the concept end to end. So that's why I have dedicated these sessions, pre-class and post-class, just to answer your questions. So you are more than welcome to log in half an hour before the main class, and of course, half an hour after the main class. I will try to answer the remaining questions if you have. So that's why you will see these sessions. These sessions are also recorded, but this is not a part of the recordings only package. If you are not attending live, if you are only taking the recordings, these will not be added, but main class will definitely be added. For people attending the live session, they will get the pre-session and post-session recordings. Okay. Are these downloadable? Many people ask this question that, I am traveling, I want to watch it on my cell phone. Are they downloadable? The answer is no, they are not downloadable, but the access is lifetime. Okay, so access for these recordings is lifetime. There is no expiry date on it, but you need an internet connection. Once you have an internet connection, you just go to YouTube and then you watch the video. So access is not expiring, it is lifetime, but they will not be downloadable. And when will be the availability? So for example, Saturday classes recording will be available to you next day, Sunday. Okay, so next day the recording will be available to you. Question and answer I've already mentioned. 30 minutes before the main session, 30 minutes after the main session, we'll do dedicated Q&A. And for people who are interested to see every day what we are covering, day-wise breakup of the topics, that 17th what is being covered, 18th what is being covered, 24th, 25th, all the way up to your 29th of November, what are the topics for each day? That breakdown is also given for you to peruse. So go through that and then you will know that what's being covered, so that if you want to get ready, you want to do some readings before the class, then you can do that. Now, any questions on this course structure, guys? Now you can unmute and ask your questions.
Yeah, Devanshu, Saurav here.
Yes, Saurav.
Yeah, actually, are we going to cover stored procedure, database procedure? I saw it somewhere, so we are covering that one as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. As part of the native HANA modeling, we are covering the stored procedures. So if you go to the HANA Studio, so we have calculation views, we have flow graphs, we have SPs, which is a stored procedure. So we'll create a HANA stored procedure as well. We'll create some SQL scripts as well. So you should know how to write a SQL script. We will write a sequence as
Okay.
well. How to write a sequence in a HANA database. Why this is used? This will be used in the flow graphs. And then we'll use calculation views and table functions as well. So this will be a very detailed hands-on native HANA training for you. Now the question
Okay,
is,
so
another question, hold on one second. One other question people ask is, why HANA 1.0? Why not HANA 2.0? Right? So the answer to that is, yes, I'm not covering HANA 2.0 here. I'm only covering HANA 1.0. And the reason for that is the generated CVs out of the ADSOs or composite providers or queries are going to be classic CVs. The generated CVs will not be HANA 2.0 CVs. So if you have to use those CVs in another CV, then you should know that how the classic CV works. So that's why I'm focusing and covering the 1.0 XS Classic, XSC, classic CVs and flow graphs, etc. But the concept in HANA 2.0 for a CV has not changed. It's the same. You still have dimension CVs, you still have cube CVs, you still have cube with star joint CVs. The only thing which has changed in HANA 2.0 are containerization. Now the CVs have become HDI based container CVs, where you will have 3 or 4 different schemas which will be generated once you activate your container. One will be object owner, one will be your application owner, so on and so forth. But the basic concept of a CV, the basic concept of a procedure, of a flow graph, of a table function has not changed. So that's why I'm covering HANA 1.0, not 2.0. Yeah, Saurabh, go ahead. You had another question?
yeah, actually, is it same because there was a voice cut in between? Is it for all, or is it for only for me? I'm not sure. So I just missed that point.
Which point? I can repeat that for you.
Yeah, so why HANA 1.0 and not 2.0?
Okay. So the reason HANA 1.0 is because the generated CVs out of the info providers are always going to be classic CVs. They will not be HANA 2.0 CVs. And if you have to use them in a ZCV, then you should know how a classic CV works, how a HANA classic CV works, how a table function works in HANA classes, which is XS Classic. That's why I'm not covering HANA 2.0. I will be launching a separate course on HANA 2.0 alone. There we will cover all the HANA 2.0 concept, HDI containers, how they work, the GitHub integration, how it works, because now there is no more HANA repository. We have GitHub integration. Then we have your security concept has changed. Synonyms have come in. If you want to access external schema, you'll have to create a grants file or .hdb grants, and synonyms you'll have to create. So all that concept is under HANA 2.0, which is a separate course in itself. Here I'm just covering HANA 1.0.
So HANA 2.0 will it will have a different package price. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah. And that course is not yet out. It's still work in progress. So once that
Okay.
is launched, I will definitely announce that course. Okay. Any other
Okay.
questions on
So
the structure before I go ahead?
yeah, one more question, Devanshu. Like, how much of ABAP knowledge is required for this particular course that we are attending?
Very good question. So the question is, what kind of ABAP knowledge or experience we should have? My expectation is you should know basics of OOPS ABAP. You should know what is a class. You should know what is a method. You should know what is an interface in ABAP OOPS. And you should know what is a select clause. What is, how do we write, for example, functions? What is a function module in ABAP? So those things, those basic knowledge, if you have, definitely it will go a long way, because I am not covering basic ABAP here. I'll not tell you what is a class. I'll not tell you what is a method, but I'll definitely tell you what is an AMDP, how to write an AMDP method in class, how to write a baddie. I will explain what is a baddie, what is interface inside the baddie, but I'm not going to go inside the details of what is a class itself or what is a method. So that basic knowledge of ABAP, I am expecting out of the consultants. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Devanshu, this is Ashish here. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Ashish, go ahead.
Yeah. Devanshu, this is regarding the timings actually.
Yes.
So for me, there is a daylight saving which is getting started at 25th of October. I'm not sure whether Canada has it or
I think it has, yes. We will probably also have the daylight saving. So it will change, I think, the timing a little bit. From a Canadian standpoint, the EST timing zone, the time will remain the same. 8:30 to 10:30. There's no change in that time. Now, daylight saving might affect that accordingly to India time, to UK time, and to Australia time.
But is it from 25th of October?
I
or
am
is
not
it
sure. I'll have to check that. I can get back to you on that. So I'll check that. Probably it's somewhere in October. You're right, but I don't know the exact date. I'll check that and I'll let you know. Good question, by the way. Any other questions?
Hi,
Devanshu, this is Abdul here,
Yes,
related to
Abdul.
SAC. Do we need to record any knowledge for the SAC or is it not required?
No. For SAC, you don't need any knowledge. But again, guys, please keep in mind, I'm not going to go in detail of SAC, because if I go in detail of SAC, that's a whole course in itself. So what I will be covering is how the integration works. So definitely the course part we will cover, how a model is created, how a live connection is created, and how a story is created, and basic stuff in the story like charts, your linked analysis, how a linked analysis works in a story, so on and so forth. So I'll be covering certain basics of SSC, not the entire SSC. Please don't think that this is okay. This also I have seen in my current batch participants. So I want to set the expectations at the very outset. Please don't think this is an embedded analytics course. Embedded analytics deals with details of CDS views. Yes, you will be able to create a CDS view after this course. You will be able to create the annotations required for BW extraction. You will know how to enhance a CDS view. But I'm not covering anything and everything with a CDS view. That is an embedded analytics part of the equation. So that's not covered. Then SAC, complete details of SAC, not covered, because this is not an SAC course. This is a BW for HANA focused course. And then ABAP, I'm not going to teach you ABAP. Basic ABAP knowledge I'm expecting. AMDP, yes, I will teach you. BADI, yes, I will teach you. Okay.
So in the data warehouse cloud also will not cover, right? That is completely different.
This is BW for HANA on premise. This is not data warehouse cloud.
Okay.
Data warehouse cloud is a new product, which is a cloud-based data warehousing tool from SAP. This is an on-premise tool. Please understand. Don't think that data warehouse cloud has replaced BW for HANA. Many people have this misconception. Data warehouse cloud is a cloud-based tool, which is there for people who are ready for cloud. But clients who want on-premise softwares, BW for HANA is the on-premise, and these two softwares are very tightly integrated. So that means if you want to access your BW for HANA multi-providers or queries in data warehouse cloud, yes, you can do that. This integration is seamless. But these two are separate products for separate types of client requirements. So data warehouse cloud is not covered. Yes, you're right.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Hello,
Devanshu, Sridhata here.
Yes, tell me.
You said some topics are not covered, yeah? So are you going to provide notes for those topics at all?
Yes, notes I'll provide, definitely. The material is there. The material I will provide, but hands-on probably I will not be able to do because of the time constraint.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I heard somebody else as well.
Hi, Devanshu. Hi.
Yeah, may I know your name, please?
I'm Shiva.
Yes, Shiva, go ahead.
So you said you're covering scenario-based on sales order item and header, which is 2LIS 13, right? So
2LIS 11.
Yeah, 11. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So those are delta extractors, but you are saying only you will cover only SDA part. SDA is not compatible with the delta, right? It is only full load, right?
No, you are mixing two different concepts. SDA is for native HANA modeling. When we will do native HANA modeling, that's where we will use the smart data access to create virtual tables and staging tables. When we will come to BW side, then your standard extractors, LIS11, VHDR, and CDS views, which will be your custom CDS views that we will create. They both will be delta based.
That means via ODP.
Via ODP. One is the ODP concept CDS, ODP CDS, and one is ODP SAP for standard extractors. Both are ODP. Yes, correct. Okay, and both have delta enablement. For CDS view, I'm going to show you generic delta. That means without using ODQs. And then I will show you annotation based delta, which is using ODQs.
Okay, that means SDA is only for
native HANA part.
Native HANA part. Okay.
One more thing, SDA is also for open ODS views. So we have a requirement, we will have a customer requirement where you will have to access a table virtually. You cannot bring that table in BW. That table is there in S4 HANA, having confidential data. So client has said, please do not replicate that table in BW, access it virtually. Then we will use open ODS views using smart data access and virtually connecting to the table. So that is there as part of the hands-on. So that's the part where in BW we will use SDA.
Okay, thank you. And also after this course, can I say most of the parts of native HANA is covered?
That's right. Most of the part of native HANA is covered.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the only part which will not be covered in native HANA is analytic privileges. Just like you have analysis authorizations in BW side, we have analytic privileges in native HANA side. That part is not covered.
Okay, fine. Thank you. And what is not covered, the second point, generation of CVs from ADSO or composite providers, you said. So generation of ADO source means the tick box, and that part anyway, it is covered, right? So what exactly is not covered in terms of CV? I can't understand. What is that?
Oh, this one?
Yeah, second one.
Yeah, this is the tick mark which generates the HANA CV. That is not covered.
Okay,
see, because if I teach you that what that tick mark does, then I will also have to teach you what gets generated, what is the CV, how the CV is structured, what are the joins which SAP by default creates, right? Because if you don't know that, then what is the use of that? Just the tick mark. That will not help you. After the tick mark, what happens? If you go into the details of that, then you can say that, yes, I know how a generation of HANA CV works and how I can use that CV in a Z CV if I have to. Without that knowledge, just knowing the tick mark does nothing.
Okay.
So that part is not covered.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions, guys? I can take one last question before I go ahead, and then at the end, again, we will have question and answer. Don't worry. Okay. So one last question, please.
Hi, Dipanshu, Rahul this side.
Yes, Rahul.
So in this training, are we going to cover the mixed scenario concept also?
Yes. So I told you, right? When we create the composite provider, we will combine ADSOs, open ODS views, and HANA CVs in a composite provider. And that HANA CV will have an input parameter. So you will know how a HANA CV can be used in BW side. That's your mixed scenario. The part of mixed scenario which is not covered is the generation of CVs and then again using them in a ZCV and then again using that in back-end composite provider. That part is not there, but how a regular HANA CV can be used in a composite provider, that is covered.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Dipanshu. So in this example, HANA CV means it is not in BW system, but it is accessed or consumed in the BW system. But HANA CV is from native HANA system. That's a separate system. Is that right?
Don't say it's a separate system. No, it's the database on which BW is sitting. Guys, you have to be clear on the database and the application server. Okay. So let me quickly show you something, a diagram, which will probably help you clear this. 1 second. So let me go to not this native HANA. I think it's there covered in architecture. Okay. So if you see this diagram, we have one rectangle box which says BW for HANA ABAP application server. It's a lean application server. It's not a part of NetWeaver anymore. Another very important concept. The BW for HANA's ABAP server is not part of NetWeaver. It is out of NetWeaver now. So it's still ABAP. ABAP is still there. That has not gone away. Java stack is gone. There is no Java stack in BW for HANA. Please remember that. So we have the ABAP application server. This is what we are dealing with when we log in from Eclipse projects. This connection is talking to this guy. When I'm talking HANA database, I'm talking the database which is sitting under the application server, which is the native HANA part. This is where we will do all the modeling. And once we do modeling here, this will be used in the application server. So when I'm logging in HANA Studio, okay, This is HANA Studio, and in HANA Studio, I'm logging directly to the database. This is where I'm talking to this guy. I am no more concerned with the application server at all. But when I'm dealing in Eclipse as a project, I am dealing with this guy. I'm not talking to this directly. So there's a different system, but the systems are interconnected. That means this is the same HANA database on which the BW application server is sitting on. So that's the part where we'll do the native HANA modeling. Okay.
So is my understanding is correct that this is only for clarification? So without using on BW for HANA system, without using any BW objects or BW targets or whatever, by using just native HANA, we can do all the things, and we can do reporting and reporting as well.
That's right, 100%. You can use just the native HANA modeling, create calculation views, and then your reporting tools like SAC or Lumira or Tableau or Power BI, Cognos, every tool can access the HANA calculation views directly without going to the application server.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so again, please hold on to your questions. Let's go ahead with the content. Then at the end, we'll have a Q&A dedicated. So there are a lot of frequently asked questions regarding BW for HANA, right? So let's try to answer those questions, and that will give you better clarity on why BW for HANA is launched, why it is required. When many people ask this question, then 7.5 already has the same features. Then why do we need BW for HANA? Right, so those kind of frequently asked questions we'll try to answer here. So first thing, what is BW for HANA? BW for HANA is the latest and greatest in terms of data warehousing software from SAP. Okay, and the versioning is new. The versioning has stopped for previous BW versions at 7.5, and the latest service pack is I think 23 or 24. But after that, it has stopped. Then we have BW for HANA, which started with 1.0, SP1, SP2, SP3, SP4. Then came 2.0. Okay. Then SP1, SP2, SP3, SP4, SP5. Right now we have SP5 as the latest, and the training server which I'm using is SP4. So this is the journey. When HANA was first introduced in 2011, then the first system which was launched on HANA in 2012 was 7.3 powered by HANA. Now, please don't get confused with the naming convention. Some people call it on HANA. Some people call it powered by HANA. It's one and the same thing. Okay. So I'm calling it on HANA. So we have 7.3 on HANA, which was launched in 2012. Fortunately, I was a part of that project because I was with SAP Global Delivery that time, and it was called Project Orange. The code name was given as Project Orange. And I was also the third or the fourth person in the entire world to get certified in BW on HANA back in 2012. So that's where they launched the first product. Then came in 2013, 7.4 on HANA. Further simplification was done, more optimizations was done, and a new version was released. Then came 7.5 on HANA, and then finally it stopped at 7.5. There is no 7.6. Now there is another version which is called Edition for SAP HANA add-on. This is also called Starter add-on. Why is this required? Don't think that this is a separate version. This is not a separate version. For you to migrate from 7.5 to BW for HANA, you need an add-on. And what is that add-on? Starter add-on. That's a small piece of software which you have to download from Service Marketplace, and you have to install in 7.5. Once you install that, then it will be called 7.5 Starter add-on. And that is a prerequisite for you to go to BW for HANA. Once you install that, then you are ready, and then the migration steps are performed, and then you are on BW for HANA. So that's why this is a starter add-on. Don't think this is a separate version. Version stopped at 7.5 on HANA. And history of BW, we all know there's nothing new. It started back in 1998, where 1.0 was introduced. Then 1999, 1.2, 2.x, 3.x. 3.x is some where I started my career. So I worked on 3.5. That was my first version. And then I worked on 7.x, then on HANA, and then for HANA. Okay, 2.0 was introduced and launched in February 25th, 2019. Okay, BW 2.0 was launched. 1.0 was already there before this. 2016 is where actually the first version of BW for HANA was introduced, and 2019 2.0 came into picture. Now, for some people, they might ask that what is a data warehouse? I know this is a very basic question, but for the interest of those who don't have any knowledge in BW, I'll quickly tell you what is the difference between S4 HANA and BW for HANA, right? So S4 HANA is your transaction system where you will do all your transaction. And BW for HANA is your data warehousing solution where you will generate reports, right? So S4 HANA is basically OLTP, online transaction processing. And BW for HANA is your OLAP, your online analytical processing. So this is the difference between S4 HANA and BW for HANA. And a lot of people will say that if I have S4, why do I need BW4? Because S4 HANA can do both. It can do transactions and it can do reporting as well. Embedded analytics is reporting. Then why I need BW for HANA? This is a very common question which is being asked. The answer to that is you definitely require BW for HANA even though you have S4 HANA, because reason number one, most of the companies or organizations, they don't have just S4 as their only source. They will have multiple legacy systems. They will have PeopleSoft, they will have Oracle, they will have SQL Server. And when they need reporting, they want to consolidate all the data and then do the reporting. And S4 is one of the source systems they have, but they have Oracle, PeopleSoft, SuccessFactors, cloud-based systems, and many other systems. And they want enterprise-wide reporting. So you're not going to dump all the data in S4 and then say that, okay, do the reporting. S4 is not meant to consolidate data from multiple systems and then give the reporting to you. S4's primary purpose is transactions. You can do transactions there very fast. Transactions for finance, for sales and distribution, for HR, so on and so forth. You are not going to dump all the enterprise data in S4 and then do the reporting. That is not a good way. So now what do? So we definitely need a system which is capable to consolidate data, including S4. S4 is definitely one of the primary sources, but in addition to S4, you will need Oracle data, you will need PeopleSoft data, you will need SQL Server data. And this is where BW as a data warehouse will consolidate all that and will give you the data warehousing. So even though you have S4, you can do your reporting there for only that data which is there in S4. What about the other data which is sitting in multiple other satellite systems? You will need to consolidate them, and BW4 is geared and primarily designed to consolidate data. Okay, S4 is not supposed to do that. Now, second reason is S4 can definitely handle transactions and reporting. S4 is a very strong system. It is also based on HANA. But imagine this, because it is based on transaction, and yes, reporting it can solve. When you first install, when your user base is small, 100 people using, and you just have maybe say 20 or 30 million records, your S4 will work beautifully. You will have a very good day working with S4, doing reporting also. But as your user base increases, from hundreds, it becomes thousands, and from thousands, it's become tens of thousands. And your database grows from millions to billions of records. Tables like AC Doka will have billions of records for big organizations. If you start doing reporting and transaction based on billions of records and 1,000 people are logging in at the same time across the globe and asking reports in addition to transaction, S4 will gradually start to show an ugly face and the performance will degrade. I have seen this live happening with my client. They did not have a BW for HANA license. They just had S4 HANA. They said, we'll manage. 1 year worked very well for them. But gradually when the data will increase, gradually when the user base will increase, S4 will slow down and it will sometimes even give you dumps when you are actually having complex CDS views based on AC Doka and thousands of people are accessing that CDS views. So S4, imagine this, right? You are a person who has been given a task, right? So you have to enter 10,000 records in Excel sheet manually. So you are entering row number 1, row number 2, row number 3. Now suddenly your mom comes and says, okay, can you tell me that where did you keep your headphones? Okay, you can answer. Okay, oh, headphones, I kept it there. Now your father comes. You have 10 brothers. Your brothers are coming. Your sisters are coming and asking you questions. Where did you keep this? Where did you keep that? Imagine the annoyance it will happen on you. You have to enter 10,000 records of Excel sheet data and people are banging you with reports. Give me this, give me that. That is reporting. So if you do with few people, yes, you can manage. If you have one brother, one sister, one mom and one dad, you can manage. Even if they come together, you can answer them and get back to your work. What if you have 100 sisters, 100 brothers, one father, one mother, and 10,000 friends who are coming to you and asking questions at the same time? You will be annoyed and you will crash down. That's what will happen with S4 as well. Even though it is very strong, the moment the records will increase and the user base increases, it will go down. It is not supposed to do both at the same time at a huge scale. And of course, the first reason I gave you, consolidation of data. It's not supposed to do that from all the systems in your company. So that's why you will still require BW4HANA. Third reason, what if your S4 goes down? If your S4 goes down, that means your reporting also goes down. If it S4 is down for patch upgrades or S4 is down due to some errors, then your reporting also shuts down if you have everything in one box. Whereas if you have BW4 reporting, your S4 goes down, your reporting will still continue on the data which is already loaded in BW. Yes, data flow will stop, I agree. But the reporting will still continue on BW4HANA. That means you will not have any stop from Oracle data feed. Oracle, you can still report. S4HANA, whatever is already loaded, you can still report. PeopleSoft, you can still report. So even if S4 goes down, your reporting, entire reporting will not go down. And definitely any upgrades relevant for S4 or anything which brings the system down will not bring your reporting down. Another reason is inventory handling. Inventory handling is done beautifully in BW4HANA native out of the box. In S4HANA, handling inventory via CDS views is difficult. Delta handling is very seamless. Standard extractors are being given in CDS views. You will have to know all your tables. Yes, standard CDS views are given. Hundreds of standard CDS views are given, right? But delta handling and snapshot support, all those things can be done easily in BW4HANA. BPC. If you have BPC, it definitely needs a BW. If you have consolidation and planning both, having a separate BW system is again better because BPC will also need consolidated data, not just data from S4, but it needs consolidation, needs data from multiple systems, and that's where BW will come into picture. So because of all these valid reasons, even though you have S4 HANA, you will still require BW for HANA. Next, very, very frequently asked question. Difference between on HANA and for HANA. Why should I go for HANA when I already have 7.5? My 7.5 already gives me all the features. Then why should I go? The answer is no, it does not give you all the features. So you have to know what it does not give you, what you have in BW4 HANA, which is not there in on HANA, and then you can take a decision whether you want to go or not. First thing is, InfoQ multi-providers are still allowed. But in BW4 HANA, only new objects are allowed, ADSO and composite provider, which are simplified the model. You don't have to create ADSOs, the DSOs and then InfoCubes and then multi-providers. You have to deal with multiple objects in BW on HANA. In BW4 HANA, you will just deal with two objects for persistent data storage, ADSOs and info objects. Okay. And then of course you have composite providers of virtual layer. So modeling is simplified. Then you have CDS view based standard data sources. Please note that going forward, all the standard extractors will gradually move to CDS views. And those CDS views based standard extractors will not be available in on HANA standard content. It will always be available in for HANA standard content because the innovation has stopped for on HANA. Support is still there, but the latest features like right now your 2LIS 11, 2LIS 11, 12, 2LIS 13, 2LIS 18, etc. are all based on function modules and the regular code. But gradually, as S4 HANA further releases, like 2020 recently got released, as the S4 HANA will get released, more and more data sources are changing the source from regular code to CDS views. And this will be available as a standard data source in BW for HANA, not in on HANA. So that is another major reason for you to upgrade. Info objects and fields. fields are supported in BW on HANA, but not seamlessly. You will have a lot of issues with fields if you use just fields. Whereas in BW for HANA, fields-based ADSOs are supported at staging layer, at your data mart layer, and your data warehousing layer as well. So you can have field-based ADSOs. You don't need to create any info object, and it will work beautifully, seamlessly. Whereas field-based objects are not really supported well in on HANA. RS7T code. So what is the difference between RS7T code? Many people think that RS7T code is gone. It is not gone. RS7T code is still there, but the modeling tab in RS7T code is gone. So in the Eclipse, if I open a SAP GUI session, I can open a SAP GUI session within Eclipse. I don't need to navigate out of Eclipse if I have to go to SAP GUI editor. Within Eclipse, you can open that. And if you go to RSA1 transaction code, you will see that it's still there. It has not gone, but the first tab is administration. There's no modeling tab anymore. All the modeling will now happen in the native HANA Eclipse editor, not in your SAP GUI editor. Not cloud ready. So on HANA is not cloud ready, but you can deploy your BW for HANA also on the cloud. Please remember, this is different than data warehouse cloud. Data warehouse cloud is from scratch designed to be the cloud based, but BW for HANA is a primarily on premise, but it can also be deployed on the cloud. 10 modeling objects, 4 modeling objects, simplified modeling. 2 of them for persistency, ADSOs and info objects, and 2 of them for virtualization, composite provider and OpenODS views. Simple. Here you have to have info sets, multi-providers, info cubes, virtual providers, DSOs, etc. So they have a lot of modeling objects. Here you just have 4 modeling objects. Java stack is available. No Java stack. The BW application server, ABAP application server, does not have Java stack. So all that enterprise portal, business service pages, all that which was connected to Java stack is now gone. Okay, so it is much leaner and faster ABAP application server. No data flow modeler. There is something called a data flow modeler in BW for HANA. I'll quickly show you that. So in BW for HANA, I'll go to my batch 2, and we have something called data flow object. If you expand that, you will see that I have something called DFM, data flow modeler. This is basically, let me open a more complex one. So we have the CDS view based. Okay, so we have a CDS view based data flow, and here it is so easy to create your ADSOs, composite providers, OpenODS views, data sources, info sources, open hubs, everything you can create from this single place, and then you can right click on it and you can open this from here. So if you want to open a composite provider, you can open from here. If you want to create a new DTP, new transformation, everything is very easy and user intuitive in the data flow modeler. This kind of thing is not available in BW on HANA. Okay, even if it is there, it is not matured enough. But right now here, it is pretty matured and it is very easy to use. In fact, this is your single place for development. Once you get used to BW for HANA, you will see that this is an indispensable tool for you to do all your modeling. Then GUI based administration and monitoring, here cockpit based. So let's go back to the cockpit. Hopefully that has come back. There you go. This is how a process chain looks like in cockpit. So we will create it from scratch. What is the start? What is execute DTP? Then you have AND process. So process wise, every process and nodes have been same. But now we have some new objects like cleanup ADSO request, activate ADSO request, and you have streaming process chain. In the properties, if you go, you will see that you will have a property called streaming. So if you activate that, you can activate streaming here. Okay, this is the streaming one. So we will go through all that property. We'll create the process chain, and you should get familiar with how things are done in cockpit. IP and DTP, this is only DTP. ODP. ODP is optional in BW on HANA. ODP is the default and mandatory source system in BW for HANA. So you should know what is ODP, because ODP is much more optimized and much more advanced in terms of streaming, in terms of frequent data loads, in terms of compression for the storage, so on and so forth. PSA is mandatory here. PSA is obsolete. PSA is no longer there in BW4 HANA. They are replaced by inbound table of ADSO. So this is the evolution. I'm not going into details of that. Question, what happens to the older BW versions? Are they still supported? Yes, they are supported, and this is the end of the maintenance for the older versions. For 7.0, it is extended till 2027. For 7.3, 4, 5, 3 and 4, it is 2020. Okay. And then 7.5, 2027, 1.0, 2021, 2.0, 2024. So these are the end of maintenance streams for the previous BW versions. If you need the further details, there's an SAP note 1648480. There you can check what is the end of maintenance for every BW versions. Is S4HANA mandatory for BW4 HANA? That means if I go for BW4 HANA, do I also need to upgrade my ECC to S4 HANA? The answer is no. BW4 HANA can be implemented with ECC as your source. The only thing you'll have to activate is what? ODP. ODP framework you'll have to activate in ECC, which is possible. And same vice versa. If you are upgrading your ECC to S4 HANA, do you also have to upgrade your BW to BW4 HANA? Answer is no. You don't need that as well. How about HANA database versions? BW4 HANA 1.0 can run both on HANA 1.0 and HANA 2.0. But BW4 HANA 2.0 can only run on HANA 2.0 database. It cannot run on HANA 1.0. So if your HANA is 1.0, then definitely before you upgrade to 2.0, you have to upgrade to HANA 2.0 as well. But don't worry, this is all given as an option as part of the migration. How about SAP source systems? Any prerequisites there? Yes, there are some prerequisites. If you want to go for BW4 HANA, your ECC should be at least on 6.0 or higher. Your CRM should be on 5.0 or higher. And your SCM should be 5.0 or higher. Can I directly go to 2.0? The answer is yes, it is supported, but minimum version you can go directly to 2.0 is SP2. Otherwise, if you are planning to go to BW4 HANA 2.0 SP1, then you cannot directly go. First, you have to go to BW4 HANA 1.0, then you go to 2.0. But starting from SP2 onwards, now a direct conversion is possible. What about non-SAP source systems? Are they supported? Yes, systems that are not based on ABAP application server are used as a source for BW4 HANA, and they are compatible using HANA source systems. So when you look at the BW4 HANA system, if you go to the data source tree, if you expand data source tree, you will see these are the types of source systems we have. We have ODP, and within ODP, we have BW, SAP, CDS view, and other context. Then we have file, flat file. So that is still there. And then we have additional ones called HANA source systems. This is local and this is smart data access. So via the smart data access or via the HANA local, you will support the non-SAP source systems, which previously we used to have DB Connect and UD Connect. DB Connect and UD Connect are replaced with HANA local and HANA SDA. So we will deal with them. We'll create data source for HANA local as well in our hands-on. Okay, what about the standard LO cockpit? Is it still there? One of the frequently asked questions. Yes, LO cockpit is still there. RSA 5, RSA 6, LBWE, OLI 7BW, 6BW, your setup table filling, all that concept is still there. The only thing what has changed is the delta queues. Delta queues are no longer RSA 7, they are ODQ mon. And of course, the code, CMOD code, no longer there as a default. So don't code in CMOD any longer. What is the replacement? Baddies. So you'll have baddies for data source enhancements. You'll have baddies for your customer exit variables, HANA exit variables, so on and so forth. And no RSO2. Please don't use RSO2. What should you use? CDS view based extraction. So we will do end-to-end CDS view in our training. So we'll see all that. Questions come to me saying that, oh, I have heard terms like CDS views, embedded analytics, AMDP. What are those? So CDS view is basically nothing but a select query. Just like we have HANA CV in native HANA, in ABAP, we have CDS view. It's just a select query on a group of tables. And then we have AMDP. AMDP is a class and method concept. It's an OOPS concept. AMDP means ABAP managed database procedure, meaning when you will write your class and method, that method code will not be implemented by ABAP server, will be implemented by HANA database as a procedure. That's why it is very fast. Okay. And one thing which you have to understand, this is very important, the future direction from SAP. The future direction from SAP is whatever the data sources we have, standard data sources, they will all be migrated gradually to CDS view based data sources. And only in BW for HANA standard content, you will see those data sources based on CDS view, not in on HANA. Okay. And in transformation, the runtimes have changed. That means now we have two runtimes. One is HANA runtime, one is ABAP runtime. For HANA runtime, we have AMDP based class and method. And for ABAP runtime, we have regular class and method. So that means in both cases, we have classes and methods, but in HANA runtime, we have AMDP based. So you should be familiar with how an AMDP works and how the class and methods are coded. Then is GUI used anymore? I'm saying Eclipse. So that means, is there anything which I cannot do in Eclipse? I have to go to GUI. The answer is yes. There are certain activities you still need SAP GUI, but you don't need to, navigate out of Eclipse. You don't need to go here any longer. Okay. This you don't need anymore. All you need to do is add the systems here. That's all. Once you add the systems here, you don't need to log in from here. You can close this. Within Eclipse, Control-6, using Control-6 as a shortcut I use, or you can click this button. Within Eclipse, you can open GUI and all your T codes, SM37, SM12, RSA1 for transports and for business content activation, you can do from within Eclipse. Okay. When to use what? BW for HANA, when do I use? Native HANA, data warehouse, cloud, embedded analytics, what is the future? So there's a lot of confusion because a lot of tools have come in. So please keep very simple things in mind. There are on-premise tools and there are cloud tools. Both will be maintained in parallel because some clients, they are not ready for cloud. Some clients are ready for cloud. SAP has to cater to all types of clients. So they cannot do away with one set of tools and just say that we only provide cloud tools. No. Any company, any ERP company will provide on-premise tools and cloud tools. Okay. So on-premise tools are BW for HANA, native HANA, embedded analytics, S4 on-premise, and then hybrid. You can have hybrid also, native HANA plus BW for HANA, S4 HANA and BW for HANA, but within on-premise you can have. Then you have cloud, people who are ready, clients who are ready to completely to go to cloud. You have data warehouse cloud. This is preferred if you don't have BW and you are ready for cloud, then you go for data warehouse cloud. But if you already have BW, then the better approach is go to BW for HANA. And if you are ready for cloud for some applications, not all, then you go for hybrid. Hybrid means some things you keep on premise and some things which are ready to be stored in cloud, you can go to data warehouse cloud. So it's a hybrid, and hybrid is basically the answer to a lot of clients. Then you have data warehouse cloud with BW for HANA, you can do that. Data warehouse cloud with native HANA, you can do that. So you can have cloud-based tools combined with your on-premise tools, but SAP or any other company will always have two sets of tools. They will give the integration between them, of course, but they will always maintain the parallel sets. Okay. So with this, I am just stopping, enough me talking. So let's come to the questions and answers. I hope most of your questions are answered, but if you have any other questions, please ask me.
Hi, Devanshu. So do we have any extractors as of now based upon CDS views?
Yes, we do have extractors, but most of those extractors are in cloud, S/4HANA cloud. In on-premise, yes, we have, and the application for which we have is plant maintenance. For plant maintenance, SAP has released standard extractors based on CDS views. How you can find it? You go to my material. In the material, if you have topic-wise material, go to the BI content. Where is my BI content? BI content. Open this. In this BI content, they have given the extractors which are regular extractors and extractors which are CDS view based. So in this, if you see, there is something which will be plant maintenance, and plant maintenance will have your extractors which are based on CDS views. This is inventory management. You can see that this is now LSA++. So LSA++ will have 3 layers: staging layer, integrated data warehousing layer, and virtual data mart layer. And inventory management they have given here. Let me see if I can find the plant maintenance. There, plant maintenance content. Okay. Streamlined data model for S/4HANA based on CDS view extraction. And this is on both on-premise and cloud. Okay. So for plant maintenance, oh, they have not given the content. They have not given the extractor. 0 PM. No, this is success factors. Okay, so yeah, so plant maintenance data sources are now based on CDS views. And how you can check that, right? The way you can check that is because the data sources will no longer be in RSA 5. Please remember that when a data source is based on a CDS view, your CDS view you can find in S4. But in RSA 5, the data source you cannot find. The data source will always be in BW side. That is a big difference between the previous standard extractors and the new CDS view generation. The new generation extractors will be in BW side because the CDS view, the source is always generating those CDS, those standard extractors, and they will always be in BW. So if I go to RSA 1, okay, the way you can find those extractors, go to your BI content, okay, and in the BI content, you go to the data source. Okay, where is your data source? Data source, expand data source. Okay, go to select objects and try to search the naming convention which starts with 0i. All the data sources which will start with not these 0i underscore. We have anything? Not these IND ones. 1 second, let me check that. 0 PM order status. No, these are standard ones. S/4HANA. 1 second. No, I think they are starting with 0i something. I forgot the actual name of the data source, but yes, you can find it in 0i underscore. Let me see if this one is based on CDS view. This is definitely, no, this is not there. But yeah, I will try to find a name of that particular, data source, and then we can find that the corresponding CDS view will be there in the S/4HANA. So don't go to RSA 5 and don't try to search for it. In here only, let me see if I can find the name 0c underscore. Yeah, most likely these also. Let me see if this is a CDS view based, because a lot of master data also have been migrated to CDS view. So this one 0c underscore, now c underscore, I will try to find it here in the S4. So let me log into S4. So we log into S4HANA. S4HANA is also another project. So I'm logging to the application server of S4HANA. Okay. And here, if I try to find the CDS view, let me see. Okay. So press Control Shift A. Control Shift A is basically to find the ABAP objects. C underscore, no, this is not a CDS view. So all the CDS views, standard CDS views will either start with I underscore or C underscore, right? So I underscore, and let me see PM. Anything is there with PM, plant maintenance? I underscore CPM, no, there is. So I have to look at the exact name. I don't think, oh, there is. Okay, so say for example, we have I underscore PM notification, because plant maintenance has notification, notification phase, notification type, etc. Right? So this is my CDS view. So let me open the CDS view. If there is a data source on top of this CDS view, it will always start with 0I underscore, then the name. So let me copy this name. Okay. SQL view name, because data sources are usually based on SQL view name of the CDS view. Now let me go back to BW. Let me try to search this, and 0 IPM notification. Okay, nothing. So let me just say 0 IPM. No, there is nothing. Yeah, so this is basically, I'll have to check the name, exact name. What is the name? No, 0 I underscore. Yeah, so sorry, I cannot find the exact name. I thought BI content will give me the exact name, but it's not. I will have to look at online and see what is the exact name of the data sources. And the same data source you can find here in BW side. That's the only difference. And whatever data source you will find in BW side, remove the 0 in the beginning. Whatever is the remaining part, I underscore, C underscore, those are the CDS view which you will find in the S4 HANA side. Okay. Yeah, this is not there. You know why I know? Because the annotations which are required for BW extraction is not there. So maybe some other data source for PM notification is there, for which we will have a data source. But that's a change. No RSA5 data source anymore. Find it in the BW side.
That means during initial setup of CDS views extractors, do we need to log into S4 or it is not required?
No, not required. You don't need to log into S4. You just need to activate those extractors in your BI content activation in BW side. That's all.
So RSA5 activities, RSA6 activities are not required anymore.
No required, no setup table filling, no RSA5, no RSA6, no extraction queue, nothing. Just activate the data source. CDS view is already there. Make sure CDS view gives you data. So if you want to know that this CDS view has any data or not, just right click on the CDS view, go to open with data preview. And once you see that, okay, this CDS view is giving me good number of data, then the extraction will also work there. Okay. Now previously we used to have RSA3 to check the standard extractors. Is the T code still there? Yes, but it is not used for CDS view data sources. So if you want to test CDS view based data sources, just like similar to RSA3, there's another program, right? And that program is called RODP REPL test. So if you go to SE38, there's a program which SAP has given, which is RODPS, not this, RODPS REPL test, REPL. This one, RODPS replication test. Okay, ODP, the standard ODP extractor or your custom CDS view based extractor, you can test via this particular program. This is a similar program like RSA3. RSA3 of the past has been replaced with this. You give the context, which is your either your CDS view based data sources or your NetWeaver business warehouse data sources, or if it's a standard CDS view extractor, you will give the standard data source extractors. Here we'll give the CDS view, you'll give the name of the ODP. ODP is what? Operational data provider, which is your SQL view name. All that we will do. Once we will do the hands-on of ODP, ODQ, I will run this program. I'll show you how you can test this out and how this is also used to create dummy subscription in the ODQs. So all that we will do in our hands. Any other question?
Yeah, Devanshu, I mean, as you said that this particular setup table function is not available right now in this current version. So previously, if any particular document is missing from ECC, so we used to do the setup. So how are we going to do this in this 2.0?
See, if you are talking about standard extractors, setup table
Yes.
filling is still there, very much there. So all your standard extractors for LO cockpit, for example, right? For all these data sources, your setup table filling is still there.
Okay.
If you have a data source which is CDS view based, now CDS view based data sources can have standard extractors, also ZCDS view based, your own custom created. In S4HANA on-premise, there are very few standard extractors based on CDS views. Gradually they are releasing, phase by phase, module by module. So there are not many CDS view based standard extractors. But you can always create your ZCDS view. When you create your ZCDS view, you will use the standard, one of the standard CDS views, I underscore or C underscore, right? Interface or consumption CDS views. So when you use them and create your data source, then you don't need any setup table filling. Then you don't need any extraction queue, delta queue concept, V3 jobs, scheduling those jobs, not required at all. And that's exactly what we will do for the item. For the header, what we will do is we will use the sales header, which is your 2LIS11 VA HDR. We'll use this for header. Why I'm using this? Because I want to show you that setup table filling is still there, how to use BADI to enhance the data sources, all that we'll do. But for the item, I'm not going to use the LIS11V item. For item, we will do the CDS view based extraction. And that's where you will see that no setup table filling is required and no RSA5, RSA6 is required. Just create CDS view, create the data source in BW, and then you load it. Okay, so don't think that setup table filling is gone. It's still there for standard extractors. But for CDS view based extractors, it's no longer applicable.
Devanshu, this recording session will be provided to us, right?
Yes, this recording will be there free of cost on the YouTube.
Hello,
So
Devanshu.
how?
Yeah, one second. There was a lady there.
Srilata here.
Yes, Srilata.
You said there is no BEX here. So are you going to show any reporting tools like Lumira or BO?
SAC. So the reporting tools, what we are covering is, first of all, of course, we will create the query in Eclipse, right? So all the functionalities, whatever there was in BEX, like conditions, exceptions, structures, your customer exit variables, HANA exit variable, all that we'll do first in Eclipse. Once we are done, then that query I will show you in the SAC, SAP Analytics Cloud, not in Lumira or any other BO tool, but SAC, because SAC is the tool of choice for most of the clients now. In fact, people who are on BO, they're also preferring SAC. So I'm covering SAC in this part of the course, not Lumira.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Devanshu, Sudhir here. Hello.
Yes, Sudhir, go ahead.
Yeah, so Devanshu, in the whole course, so for BW4 HANA, the source will be S4 HANA, right? So you'll be connecting HANA. Right. So just wanted to confirm. Actually, we have a requirement. Maybe our client will be migrating from BW on 7.5 to B4 HANA maybe next year. But the source will be ECC. So I just wanted to understand: is there any activities going to be changed if the source is ECC and S4 HANA?
Yes. The activities, as I told you, is ODP. So you have to activate ODP framework in your ECC, and there's an SAP note. And while we discuss the ODP, right? So as part of my training, I'll be discussing in detail of the ODP ODQ. Let me give you a glimpse of what will go on in ECC side when you will upgrade. So when we go to data source enhancements, logistic cockpit, not this one, ODP ODQ framework. So the way ODP and ODQ has changed is basically the delta queue is gone now. No more the delta queue. We have a new ODQ, which is operational delta queue. Now, what is basically required for as a prerequisite? Okay. So we have two versions of ODP. We have 1.0 and we have 2.0. 1.0 is available for ECC systems. This SAP note you have to implement. When will you go for 1.0? When your SAP underscore basis release is less than 730, then you will go for ODP 1.0, and this note is there for you. If your basis release is more than 730, then you can use the new features of 2.0. This is the SAP note you have to implement. And the difference between ODP 1.0 2.0 is also enlisted in detail in this SAP note. So basically, what you have to do from ECC side is check what is your SAP basis release, and accordingly from this note or from this note, you have to implement the note which will give you the ODP enabled features. Once it is there, then you'll have to run a couple of programs, right, to expose the data sources for ODP. Okay, so there are two steps. First step, you will implement ODP. How? Through these SAP notes based on your SAP basis release. Step number one. Step number two, you'll have to, once it is there, once step number one is done, you have to go to a program, and that program name is I exactly forgot the name of the program. Let me see. I think it's there in my notes. To expose, what is the name of that program?
Yeah, RSODP expose flags on the. Yeah.
No. That is for the generic extractor if you want to expose. For the standard extractors, if you have to expose, wait, let me find it. One second. Yeah, so there's an SAP note also. How do you expose? There's a set of program. I forgot the exact name of the program. ODP something is there. I forgot the name exactly, but that program you have to run. Okay.
Yeah.
And then once you run the program, you will see that all the data sources will be exposed to ODP. And how to check whether a data source is exposed to ODP or not? There is something, there's a table actually, and that table name is RUAS ATTR. Okay, RUAS ATTR. Go to this table and give the name of the data source. For example, I'll give 2LS11 VHDR, for example. Check this. If there is an entry with an X flag checked, that means it is exposed to ODP. That means you can use the ODP framework. And if it is not there, this entry is not there, you will not be able to use ODP for this data source. So basically 3 steps. First step, you make sure that that particular SAP note is implemented for you. And then you make sure that all the data sources are exposed via that program. And third thing, go to this table and check whether your data sources are exposed or not. After these 3 steps, you will be able to use BW4 HANA ODP extraction. Next question can be, oh, I already have RSA7 activated.
Yeah.
Can I still use in parallel RSA7 and ODP? Yes, answer is definitely you can. So if you want, say for example, 3 data sources you want to expose via ODP, and the remaining 20 data sources you still want to keep it RSA7, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Okay, but if you have BW4 HANA, then the only possible source system is ODP. If you have BW on HANA, then you can have both RSA7 and your ODP. Please remember, BW4 HANA does not support RSA7 based framework. It only supports ODP based framework. Now, if you go to BW4 HANA, you can no longer use RSA7. But if you have BW on HANA, you are just upgrading your ECC to S4, then you can use both in parallel. But the moment you go to BW4 HANA, RSA7 is no longer possible. You have to migrate your data sources to ODP. And when it is done, during the migration, when you migrate your ECC to when you migrate your BW to BW4 HANA, it will ask you, okay, that one of the step is migrate all the existing data source to ODP data source. So that will automatically take care of that. Before that, of course, you have to clear RSA7 and run the info packages. All that regular activity you'll have to do to make sure there is no data either in extraction queue, LBW queue, or RSA7. Once you have cleared those queues, your migration will take care of migrating the queues from RSA7 framework to ODP framework. Clear?
So what
very, very much clear. Thanks. So just one more question on top of this. So apart from this ODP process, so other concepts will remain same, right? Whether it is ECC or S4HANA, like enhancing the process, writing is, so everything remains same, right? Whether it is ECC or S4HANA to get the data to BW4HANA.
That's right. Now, if you have CDS views, then things will change a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as long as you are
so CDS views will not get from ECC, right? From only S4.
No. CDS views are there in ECC also, but your basis release is important. If it is 740 SP5 or above, check your SAP ABAP and basis release. You have to have minimum minimum basis and ABAP NetWeaver version to have CDS views activated. And I think the minimum version is 730 SP5 or I think 740, one of them. So once you have that, you can have CDS views. It's not that you have to go to S4HANA for using CDS views. No. All you have to do is you have to upgrade your ABAP NetWeaver version and your basis NetWeaver version, and then it will be supported.
Okay.
Any other question?
So the ODP concept.
Sorry. Please mention your name and then you can ask the question.
Sorry, this is Shiva. So you are saying the ODP concept what so far is for when in the case the source system is ECC, not on HANA, right? So in this case, if source system is ECC and if it is BW on HANA, ODP is not mandatory. Is that
correct?
Right?
100% right.
And ODP is also in parallel. That means same extractor I can run through ODP, I can run through SAPI. Is that right?
If your BW is BW on HANA.
Yeah, on HANA. On HANA in ECC, I can run same extractor with SAPI, or I can run same extractor parallelly in two modes. Is that right? ODP and SAPI?
I think so. I'll have to check that whether it's the same extractor you can run or not. Different extractors, definitely, I know, I have seen that. For same extractor, probably yes. I am not 100% sure, but I'll have to check and get back to you. But it is definitely not recommended. Don't do that because it can have duplicates in your BW system.
But anyway, SAPI
but technically, I think it is still possible. But I'll have to check it. I have not personally seen it, but maybe it's possible.
Okay. And one more thing.
So Sudhir here, just want to add to, yes, it is possible. Technically, it is possible. What you said is correct, but data will be duplicated.
Absolutely.
That is possible still.
Not recommended at all. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And you also said BW for HANA is a on-premise, which is okay. But just before that, you said it is also possible to put on cloud.
Correct.
So I can't understand. That's on-premise, right?
Okay. So BW for HANA can have two deployments. One is on-premise deployment. That means in your client infrastructure, your servers, your machines, your servers will be in your premise, meaning in your data center. Now, if you want to deploy on cloud, that means you are just using the servers of Amazon or Google or Microsoft or some other provider. That's all. It is not natively built for cloud technologies. Data warehouse cloud is natively built for cloud technologies, meaning you will have the concept of spaces there. You will have the concept of your SDI, SDA. SDA works with BW for HANA also, but natively it is from scratch designed to be for cloud. That means it will support your JavaScript, it will support your Python APIs, Java APIs, and all the cloud technologies, your microservices, right? Microservices based architecture means that it is cloud native. BW for HANA, when you will host on the cloud, that means only thing you are changing is what? You are saying that I will not maintain the hardware. Let Amazon maintain the hardware, or Google maintain the hardware, or Microsoft maintain the hardware. I will just connect and then I will use. The concepts will remain the same. There won't be any spaces concept. There won't be any microservices concept. There won't be any JavaScript, Python concept. All the cloud native technologies will be available in Data Warehouse Cloud, will not be available for BW4HANA, which is just hosted on somebody else's machines. That's the big difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Okay, I think we are way over the time. So let's take a couple of more questions and then we will stop the session.
Hi, Dipanshu, Rahul this side.
Yeah, Rahul.
So as you explained about this approach, as you migrate some things. So are we in this training program, are we going to give an overview about migration approach, like
Yes,
in place,
absolutely.
greenfield?
It is there. So let me show you what I'll be covering. So as part of the migration, what I will be covering is what are the different migration paths you can have, right? You have your in-place conversion versus your remote conversion versus your shell conversion versus your system consolidation SLO service. And what goes on inside each one of these? What are the activities in place? What are the activities in greenfield? So for example, in the in place, what you have to do, what is the readiness check, what are the pre-checks you have to perform, what are the important SAP notes, how you will use the transfer cockpit, how you will do the scope transfer, all that theoretically I will cover. Practical, I cannot show you because it's primarily a basis activity and you have to use SUM and DMO tool, database migration option of the software update manager tool. You have to do that. So practically not possible, but theoretically definitely I'll cover.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi, Divanshu, Satya here.
Yes, Satya.
Okay, so you are going to cover the CDS part, right? So do you expect a basic knowledge on the CDS part also?
No prior knowledge of CDS required because I'll be explaining CDS from scratch. What is a CDS view, why it is used, why SAP introduced it, and how to start coding in CDS. So no knowledge required there.
Okay, fine. And one more question. So you have informed us that you will not be covering some of the part, right? Generation of CVs for ADSOs, composite providers and all. But for info objects also, we will be able to create the calculation views, right? So that one you will be covering, or it is also not covered?
No, in general, the generation of CVs, whether it is from ADSO or an info object or composite provider or a query, is not covered.
Okay,
but
fine.
info objects are covered. Like I will definitely tell you that what additionally SAP has given in info objects, what is enhanced data loading part in info object, what are the different transitive attributes, how that works in info object. So info object master data is covered, but not the generation. Again, when I'm saying not covered, don't think that I will not give you any material. I'll definitely give you material, and if time permits, and that's a big if, okay, if time permits, then I will try to cover that as well.
Okay, sure. And can we access the materials now itself, or it will be next week onwards?
Next week onwards, because you have to do the payment first, right? So once you do the payment and once you confirm that yes, you are enrolled, then starting next week onwards only. And see, the material will not be like all session classes you will get in one go. This is batch 2. How this material got evolved is when the first session is completed, you will only see one folder. These folders you will not see. When session 2 will be completed, you will see 1 and 2. And 3, third session, third, fourth session, all the 4. So as we go along the session, I will create the folder for that session where you will see class notes. Apart from that, the regular material, everything will be there. All this will always be there. But class notes folders will be created as and when the classes are completed. Okay, you are seeing here everything because this is for the current batch where we are almost nearing. Okay, the end. So similarly, we will have one for batch 3. Right now I have batch 1, batch 2. There will be one for batch 3, right? So batch 3 will have folders one by one, one after the other.
Hi, Devanshu, Ramania.
Yes, Raman, go ahead.
So the same thing is applicable for the videos as well, right?
That is correct. Same thing applicable for videos. So on the YouTube, as the classes progress, the videos will be uploaded and the links will be, not links, the access will be given. You just have to have the playlist link saved. That's all. Once you save the playlist link, on that playlist, every week you will see new videos being added. Okay.
Hello,
Hi,
Devanshu.
Dipanshu.
Srilata here.
Sorry, there was a gentleman first.
Hi, Dipanshu. Rahul this side. So the
Yes,
same
Rahul.
question for these documents. Documents we can download, right?
Documents you can download. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Videos you cannot download.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Srilata, go ahead.
With regards to the certification, yeah, I don't have any prior certification whatsoever in BW. So the certifications you mentioned with the 2 links, so obviously I can go with the associate level certification. Yeah?
Correct. The C_1. Yes.
So we don't need
Definitely.
anything to do before this.
See, for the certification, I would say your modus operandi should be like this. Go through the course first and make sure you do hands-on. Whatever hands-on I'm showing you on the screen, please make sure you do that end to end. Okay, don't slack on that. Once you have done it, the entire course is done, your hands-on is done, you are comfortable, then you go to the certification practice questionnaire. Okay, BW4 HANA certification practice questionnaire. There is a bunch of questions there. Test your knowledge first. How many of them you are able to answer? Say, for example, out of 50 questions, you are able to answer confidently and correctly 30 of them, but 20 of them you could not answer. Then go back to the system and see that whatever they are asking, are you able to answer that by going to the system and checking that option? And then do that for all the remaining 20 questions. Only when you are 110% confident on all the questions which I have given here, and you know that what it means, you have seen that in the system, then I can say you can easily crack the certification. But you have to do these 2 steps first.
Okay. Thank you.
Devanshu, Ashish here.
Yes, Ashish.
So do we need anything else to clear the certification beyond what is being covered in this session of yours? Like, is there any topic which is belonging to the certification but it is not covered by you?
Yes, it is there. See, certification covers the entire end-to-end, whatever concepts are there in BW4 HANA. Correct? A training cannot cover everything which is there in BW4 HANA. And I have clearly told you what things I will not be covering. What are those things which I'm not covering? Analysis authorizations. So analysis authorizations, you have to do reading. You have to read up analysis authorizations, how they work from help.sap.com. Generation of CVs, hybrid modeling, how it works, what are the different CV types which get generated, again, help.sap.com. Hierarchies and hierarchy handling in BW4 HANA, help.sap.com. HAP, HANA analysis process, and native HANA analytic privileges. And of course, I would say, query, for example, BW query. In BW query, there are so many options. You can create a restricted key figure, calculate key figure, conditions, exceptions, structures, cell editors, and a hell lot of other options. I'm not going to cover everything in the BW query, for example, right? I will be covering the things which have changed or which are new. That's my focus. The things which are changed and new are basically your HANA exit variables, how they are coded, customer exit variables, how they are coded, how to do AMDP debugging, how to do the class and method of AMDP. I am not going to cover every possible option available in a tool, like for example, BW query. That part you have to read and that part you have to do yourself. This training is not like, it's not like you attend the training and you should clear the certification. No, it's not that. Let me set the expectation very clear right now. This training is for complete hands-on experience. If you want to know that how the new features work, how the MDP works, CDS view works, OpenODS view works, ADSO work, yes, you will be 100% confident after you attend this course. But don't go blindly after this training to take certification. You have to do a lot of other readings and you have to do some hands-on, additional hands-on, which I might not have covered. And then you will be ready for certification.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, guys, last question I'll take and then I'll stop the session.
So Sudhir here, where can we find today's session link? Just to go through this again if you want.
So after this, the recording will be taking some time to process and then I will upload by end of the day today. Once I upload at the end of the day today, I will upload that in YouTube and in LinkedIn. I will post that. Thank you for attending the session and this is where you can find the recording. So keep looking for the LinkedIn post tomorrow. By tomorrow, I'll post the link for this. Also, for people for whom I have the email IDs, I will send the email also with the link for the recording. But you just have to please give me time till tomorrow.
Devanshu, we can purchase the previous batch videos, right? If we...
Yes, you can. You can. As I said, there is a separate pricing on the recordings only. If you want the previous batch recordings, yes, I can give you that. If you want the live training, then you can attend the live training. There's a different price tag attached to both. Oh. And I think I have already given you the details of the price tag, what is there for the live training versus the recordings. Okay, if you don't have the details, send me an email and I will reply with the price tag. Yes, tell me.
So Devanshu, for
May I know your
only,
name,
I mean,
please?
recording. Yeah, Saurabh here, Devanshu.
Yeah,
sorry.
Saurabh, tell me.
Yeah, so for recordings of the previous batch, does it cover the materials as well or only the recordings?
What do you mean material? Oh, will I share the material or not?
Yes. Okay. Only
Okay.
recording or?
Both options are there. If you want just recording without material, I have a price tag for that. If you want material plus recording, then a separate price is there. And if you want questions and answer session also, please remember that recording package does not include questions and answers. And if you want questions and answers also included, then there's a separate price for that. If you want to know the details of the price, please send me an email at devanshu.mukherjee@gmail.com and I will give you the details. If you already have, then you know it, because for answering most of the emails, I have given the price tag. For some of you who don't have, please shoot me an email and I will give you the price tag. One more thing. If you are attending live session for the upcoming batch, that does not entitle you for previous batches recordings. A lot of people have asked this question. Okay, I am attending your live session. Now please give me the previous batch recordings also. No, that's not how it works. You cannot have a previous batch recordings by just enrolling in this batch live training. If you want that, in addition to attending the live training, you have to pay separately. Okay, please keep that in mind. All right, guys. Thank you so much for attending today's session. I hope it gave you the necessary details and background for this training and the modus operandi I follow. And I hope you will enroll in this. Last date, again, I am reiterating, is 16th of October. So please register before that and we'll start the training on 17th. Thank you very much.
16th we'll be getting the schedule details, right? About the session on 17th.
That's right. So people who have enrolled, they will get the Zoom link for attending the session starting from 17th. Yes, correct. All right. Thank you very much. And you have great rest of the day.